Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the News Today, your primetime destination. Newsmakers, talking points. The Supreme Court has questioned the Election Commission, but there will be no stay on the contentious roll revisions of Bihar. We'll be looking at that big question. Are Indian elections now on test? Also, the monsoon mess. India's crumbling metros, Gurgaon in a complete mess. We'll raise that question. Also, why are our metros in a complete mess? And Siddaramaiah exclusive. That's right, the Karnataka Chief Minister says his chair is there for 5 years. It's occupied. Kursi khali nahi hai. We'll have that and more. A top story tonight. The Supreme Court on Thursday took up the petitions challenging the special revision of voter list in Bihar. The court asked many questions, made some suggestions during the hearing, but it allowed the Election Commission then to carry on with the exercise. Many of those questions come at the heart of democracy in the country. Can the Election Commission take a citizenship test through a special revision? What was the urgency, the hurry, the timing? At the same time, the Election Commission maintains it has full powers to start a revision process of the electoral rolls just months ahead of the crucial Bihar polls. Here is a report by Anisha Mathur on a major Supreme Court hearing.
The Supreme Court asked pointed questions, made suggestions, but did not order any stay on the special intensive revision of the voter list being carried out by the Election Commission in Bihar. The two-judge bench of Justice Sudhanshu Dhulia and Justice Joy Malia Bagchi took up the petitions filed against the electoral roll revision on Thursday. The court asked if the Election Commission has the powers to conduct a citizenship exercise. The bench said it was not questioning the authority of Election Commission to revise voter lists. The judges asked if there is enough time for the extensive exercise and if documents like Aadhaar, ration card, voter ID card can be included. The court wanted to know how the Election Commission will ensure due process and give a hearing to those excluded from the list. It also asked why not de-link the SIR exercise from the Bihar Assembly elections, giving a longer timeline for the revision and suggested that the draft rolls may not be published for now. The Election Commission vehemently opposed all suggestions. The court made many observations. During the hearing, Justice Dhulia said, "Who has documents in this document-starved country? Even I won't have birth certificate." The court said the Home Ministry deals with citizenship proof. It added that a disenfranchised person will be compelled to enter into rigmarole of providing citizenship. The court observed that once the electoral rolls are finalized and the elections notified, no court will touch the petition of someone removed from the electoral rolls. The petitioners argued the exercise will affect the poor and marginalized. The law doesn't allow removal from voter list without detailed objections and hearing. They claimed the Election Commission is forcing voters to prove rights while the law calls for the state or an objector to give proof. The petitioners said an en masse disenfranchisement can't be allowed and that the government's own data showed that the most people don't have birth or school documents.
On the ground, the situation was very different because the insistence was on to produce one of these 11 documents. And with the data that is coming from Bihar, large number of people did not really have those kind of documents. So even though the SIR itself has not been stayed, but the basis on which we were saying that a large number of people could be excluded, that basis has today been to a large extent effaced by the Supreme Court.
The Election Commission opposed the petitions. It said that almost 60% forms are already in and officers are going door to door. The poll body reiterated Aadhaar is not proof of citizenship. It is looking at citizenship, identity, age and residence. There is no intent to deprive people of their right to vote and claimed that the Commission has power to revise voter lists. It assured that nobody will be deleted without hearing and due process.
MPs are filing their petition, like Mr. Jha is MP of RJD, he is filing the petition here. But his political party has appointed 35,000 BLAs. So inappropriate, and I said to the court that I am seriously objecting to the maintainability of this petition. for the reasons. Now the court has asked the Election Commission to consider certain documents. The Commission will take an appropriate view on that.
The court noting that it is the responsibility of the EC to conduct regular revisions, but also adding that there cannot be large-scale disenfranchisement of voters and that voters' rights and the roots of democracy must be preserved. With all of these questions and concerns, the hope is that on July 28th, the EC will return to the Supreme Court with some answers. In New Delhi, this is Anisha Mathur for India Today.
What, therefore, are the constitutional issues at the heart of this major court hearing? Joining me now is Anisha Mathur, who covers the Supreme Court for us, and Vikas Singh, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court. I'll come to you, Mr. Singh, in a moment, but Anisha, you were in the court. What is the central argument in this case? Why has this case become such a possibly landmark case?
Well, Rajdeep, the basic questions that are being asked, whether it's by the petitioners or by the Supreme Court, are threefold. One, does the ECI have the power to conduct what is effectively a citizenship exercise? What happens if somebody is kicked off the electoral rolls? Is there a procedure and timing available for them to undergo that procedure and redressal? Thirdly, what the court has said is that the timeline that is there, since this is been linked to the Bihar elections, can you actually conduct the revision exercise and allow time for people to file their objections and file an appeal if they are kicked off the voter list? And therefore, the suggestion that had come from the Supreme Court is that, well, you can delink the process, the SIR process from the Bihar election. That will give you time to conduct a thorough revision. Otherwise, the court also suggested that, well, you've given a list of 11 documents, which according to the EC itself is not an exhaustive list. There are other documents that could be considered. And that is why the court said, well, you can consider adding Aadhaar, voter card and ration card to that list for verification. So we'll have to see what the EC has to say now on July 28th, because questions about powers, about timeline, about verification process have been asked by the court. And the issue is also whether the court will ask for delinking or suggest delinking this process, or the court will suggest that the rolls should not be finalized or published. Those are big questions that we'll see what happens.
At the heart of that are the powers of the Election Commission and the rights of individuals, the voting rights of individuals. Vikas Singh, on a constitutional question, Mr. Singh, what do you believe is at stake in this verdict or in this hearing?
So if you ask me, Rajdeep, the main issue, in my view, is the timing. And nobody can deny the right of the Election Commission to revise the electoral roll on a regular basis. But to do it in this manner and do it just before the election is about to start is something which cannot be justified. I will tell you why. Whenever the bureaucratic exercise of this kind on such a large scale starts, it is impossible to ensure fairness in the exercise. You know, small people, small voters, marginalized voters, if they are not able to, give documents, or if they have some difficulty in providing a particular document vis-a-vis the other document, to disenfranchise them for this election will be a very, very, I would say, huge illegality. If you have been a voter for all these years, to suddenly say that we'll do this exercise in a month before the election, I don't think it can be justified at all. If you want to do it...
You're raising an important point, because 2003, those registered on electoral rolls after 2003 are the ones expected to supply these documents. Since 2003, 5 state elections and 5 general elections have been held in Bihar. You're saying that if someone has voted in this election, you cannot suddenly tell him you can't vote in this election because you don't have these documents. Am I correct? That, you believe, in a way, negates the right that an individual has to vote. What if that, according to the Election Commission, they are trying to purify the electoral rolls, remove all the so-called non-citizens?
So, firstly, Rajdeep, that is not an exercise which the Election Commission has the power to do. As far as determining who is a citizen or who's not a citizen, this is something purely within the remit of the Home Ministry. And it is not a Home Ministry exercise. Now, you have conducted so many elections since 2003, and you can't say, if you had been doing this exercise since 2003, and you had been trying to weed out people who are, not genuine voters on the basis of a rational, exercise conducted over a period of time, nobody would have questioned you. But if you start this exercise just before an election, whatever be the purpose, nobody can say that this purpose will be sanguine, because it's not as if, the voters who will be ultimately left out will be actually voting for A political party or B political party. Everybody will be left out. The point is that a right to exercise your franchise will be taken away regardless of who will benefit in this exercise. It's not a question of election commission trying to favor anybody or not trying to favor anybody. But the larger question is that this exercise will result in depriving a huge section of the Bihar electorate from the right to franchise, and in this hurried manner, which can never be justified. So I don't think this exercise can be, if they want to continue this exercise or go on with this exercise without linking it to the election, I don't think anybody can fault their motive of doing it. But if you want to do it for this election, I don't think it can be under any circumstances justified to a hurried exercise of such a large scale, where every voter will have to prove all his documents. We are dealing with migrant laborers, who may not be living in that state, who may have to come for this exercise to that state. And when they give a particular document, and if they are finding their name not to be in the voter list, they'll have to come back again from wherever they are working. Now, if you imagine a migrant worker from Delhi goes to give his original document and he finds his name not there, and again to go back again from Delhi or from Gujarat or from Jammu and Kashmir where he is working to prove his bona fides of being a proper genuine electorate or exercise franchise will be completely unjustified. So I don't think this exercise.
I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it there, Vikas Singh, because I think you've given us the practical difficulties. There are certain constitutional issues also, which will be, of course, debated in the court. But the practical difficulties at the moment seem to overwhelm all else. Remember, these are monsoon months. And to expect every migrant laborer of Bihar to be going back, supplying the documents will not be an easy exercise. But what will the Supreme Court say? We'll wait till the 29th of July. Anisha Mathur and Vikas Singh ji for joining me. Thank you so much. Let me actually give you what is the ground report. Are voters in Bihar allowed to submit Aadhaar as proof of their citizenship? Now, what we are finding is very interesting. In some areas, Aadhaar is being allowed. In other areas, it's not. How can you have different rules within a state? Shreya Chatterjee has tonight's ground report. Take a look.
The electoral roll revision underway in Bihar has sparked fears of disenfranchisement. India Today has reached the booths in the state for a reality check. In the narrow lanes of Hajipur and Muzaffarpur, booth-level officers are going door to door.
We are here in Bihar right now. The special intensive revision process by the Election Commission of India is currently under its way. Now, there are a lot of fear around this process because the opposition camp suggests this is a backdoor NRC. The marginalized community, largely the migrant community, will be suffered by this. To assess the ground reality, India Today team will be traveling length and breadth of the state of Bihar.
Armed with voter registers and mobile apps, the first priority ensuring people submit the enumeration forms. BLOs say the message is clear. Submit the form first, documents can follow later.
नहीं, अभी फिलहाल यही हुआ है कि हम लोग फॉर्म को इसमें बताया गया है हम लोगों की जन्म तिथि, मोबाइल नंबर और सिग्नेचर करा करके फिलहाल दे देने के लिए कि मतलब ये इसका लिस्ट तैयार हो जाए, वोटर लिस्ट, कोई वोटर मतदाता छूटे नहीं।
डॉक्यूमेंट ना भी हो तो अभी बस दे
हाँ, अभी दे देना है। वोटर लिस्ट इसका मतलब हो जाएगा ना अपलोडिंग, उसके बाद हम लोग को ऑर्डर आएगा तो हम इनसे डॉक्यूमेंट।
ये कब आया था?
ये 2-3 दिन पहले हम लोग।
कौन सी है? आधार कार्ड का फोटोकॉपी है।
Interestingly, there has been no uniformity on Aadhaar use. In some cases, Aadhaar numbers were accepted.
ये मेरे परिवार का है। इसमें अभी केवल जन्मतिथि और मोबाइल नंबर मांग रहे हैं, क्योंकि हम लोगों का पहले से नाम है, यहाँ मकान भी है, और तो इसमें कुछ नहीं मांग रहे।
But in others, Aadhaar was not taken.
अगर डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं है तो आप आधार नंबर लेके भर तो दे रहे हैं ना।
हाँ। ऐसे इसमें है, चढ़ाने के लिए भी कंपलसरी नहीं है अभी,
लेकिन क्योंकि कई जगह लोगों को दिक्कत हो रही है।
हाँ, तो जैसे जिनका अवेलेबल है तो हम डाल दे रहे हैं।
The Supreme Court on Thursday asked the Election Commission if Aadhaar, ration card and voter ID card can be accepted. Will the EC do a rethink now? Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let's turn to some breaking news coming in. A shocker coming in from Gurugram. A 25-year-old young tennis player has been shot dead by her father. The victim, Radhika, was a state-level tennis player. Police sources now telling India Today father killed Radhika because she made an Instagram reel. Police sources saying Radhika wanted to become an influencer. Accused father has been arrested by the Gurugram cops. That's a shocker that's coming in there from Gurugram. Arvind Oja joins me. Arvind ji, आप बताइए what is being said? ये कैसे, क्या केवल रील बनाने पे कोई पिताजी अपनी बेटी को इस तरह से मार देगा?
बिल्कुल, लेकिन ऐसा हुआ, ये काफ़ी शॉकिंग है राजदीप। जो गुरुग्राम पुलिस के ऑफिसर से हमारी बात हुई, उनका कहना है कि राधिका जो 25 साल की, वो टेनिस प्लेयर थी। 2 साल पहले उसको इंजरी हुई थी, जिसके बाद उसने एक टेनिस एकेडमी खोली थी और साथ ही साथ वो रील भी बनाती थी। चूँकि जो एल्विश यादव है वो भी इस सेम विलेज का है और वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा सोशल मीडिया इन्फ्लुएंसर बना रील बनाने की वजह से, इसलिए राधिका भी रील्स बनाने लगी थी। और उसके फादर जो दीपक, जो अरेस्ट हुआ, उसने पुलिस के सामने बोला कि चूंकि बेटी रील बनाती थी, जब वो अपने गांव में जाते थे तो लोग उनको ताने देते थे और अलग नजर से देखते थे, जिसके बाद से वो 15 दिन से तनाव में था। जिसके बाद आज उसने अपनी लाइसेंसी पिस्टल से राधिका को 3 गोलियां मारी, जिससे राधिका की मौत हो गई। राजदीप।
Arvind Oja, real shocker there coming in from Gurugram. Just think about it. A father kills her daughter because daughter wanted to become an influencer. Thank you very much for joining me on that. Okay, let me turn and stay with Gurugram, because the national capital region, whether it's Delhi and Gurugram in particular, found itself once again on its knees after a spell of rains on Wednesday night and Thursday morning. As heavy rains flooded roads and underpasses, the city's drainage system, or the NCR's drainage system, exposed yet again. Once again evident that urban infrastructure is barely holding up. Failed drainage systems, collapsing traffic, showing how despite crores being spent, smart cities being announced, monsoon preparedness remains patchy yet again. It just seems every year the same question has to be asked. Why are our metros crumbling? That's the question that we are going to raise on the show. Why is urban infrastructure crumbling? How do you make metros monsoon proof? Why are the lessons not being learnt? Several people, we are told, have also died in the waterlogging in Gurgaon. Sudhir Krishna, former Secretary, Ministry of Urban Development, joins me. Dikshu Kukreja, Urban Planner, joins me. Appreciate you both joining us. Sudhir Krishna, let's start with Gurugram, because in Gurugram, even the slightest bout of rain in the so-called Millennium City results in complete chaos. What explains this? A so-called new city of 21st century India can't handle the rains, it appears. You're on mute, sir. You're on mute.
Yeah.
Can you
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Rajdeep. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And the challenge is also very serious, not only for Gurugram, but for many other metros also, and even for tier 2 cities also. And I see the primary reason for this is inadequate vision, lack of vision about cities development. And the vision converted into actual approach is lack of regional planning. regional planning is not there, and we are doing incremental planning or localized planning. We want to develop
Sir,
a
but
structure.
Gurugram is a smart city. Gurugram has been designated a smart city. Gurugram has all the high per capita income dwellers there. When you say lack of planning, do you blame the state government, center? Who is responsible in your view? Is it the municipal civic level authorities who simply don't do enough?
It is like you say, regional planning is a responsibility of the state government and of course the government of India. The problem has come in a complicated manner. That the regional development is a local subject. The government of India introduced the smart city mission and they pushed for it. It was a localized effort. So the smart city means smart gadgets, smart applications and so on. But what the cities require first and foremost is drainage planning. Water must flow out systematically. That doesn't require so much of smartness, it requires more of a calm, cool planning, for which we have to use smart, initiatives like satellite imagery and so on, but do some good drainage planning. Every city must have a fundamental requirement for any city is drainage plan, which is missing. Therefore, the water logs here and there. That is one. And coupled with that, weak local governance. You see, the Gurugram Municipal Corporation is not the only body handling issues connected with the water flow. There is development authorities also there, and GMDA and the municipal corporation, and there are many other authorities also operating, handling the area, roads and the water. So therefore, multiplicity of authority is also a challenge. So these two are, to begin with, I will say there are other issues also of issues of that we will discuss.
But you made a very important point. You have said multiplicity of authorities, the complete lack of focus on drainage. It's all very well to have smart cities, but you can't have smart cities which don't focus on drainage. Dikshu Kukreja, year after year, and this is probably the second or third year in a row you've come on the show, it simply seems to get worse. Last night, even an hour of rain was enough for complete waterlogging. It continued this morning as well. I singled out Gurgaon, but look at Delhi itself, the national capital, unable to handle the kind of rain that perhaps Mumbai would treat as a normal day. Delhi just seems unable to handle even the slightest rainfall. Is there something seriously wrong with the system?
Well, Rajdeep, first of all, let's both try and resolve that next monsoon when you and I meet on this show, the problems have been wished away and our cities are better. But on a serious note, I think, yes, it's a systemic problem, Rajdeep. And the problem here is that right from the way the master planning and the development of the city is done in a very ad hoc fashion, unauthorized colonies are suddenly regularized. Well, fine if they have to be regularized, but what about the infrastructure? They are not even having the capacities for which the habitation is there. And in the case of Gurgaon, if we stick to that, it's been a very sad state of affairs. When we talk about multiplicity of authorities in Gurgaon, MCF, GMDA, Huda, etc., why couldn't we learn from the instance of Delhi? Delhi, we have perennially had this problem of multiplicity of authorities, and here we go about repeating the same mistake year after year and in city after city. As far as the aspect of topography is concerned, the soil strata is concerned, all these scientific aspects are completely ignored. So in Gurgaon, whether you look at how the Badshahpur drain has been completely savaged, and now there is no proper drain network there. If you look at Golf Course Road, or you look at the Southern Peripheral Road, Cyber City, another instance, yes, it might have glitzy buildings, but that's all it has, I guess, because it's completely impervious. When it rains, there's no percolation of water into the soil. So you see this kind of a situation. As far as the runoff,
Dinesh,
they are not taken care of.
Is it because, Dinesh, that here is a city which, as I said, was a 21st century. If you went to Gurgaon even in the 1990s, much of it was very rural. You build on farmlands. You build these multi-story skyscrapers. But you don't focus on where is the water going to move into those traditional water outlets. You're building on some of those water outlets. Is this therefore a man-made tragedy above all else in cities like Gurugram and in many other cities across the country? We're seeing it in Bengaluru. We're seeing it in parts of Mumbai. You're building over water bodies, lakes in Bengaluru, your marshlands in Mumbai, and that really is causing havoc.
And add to that Chennai, Pune, and many, many more. Yes, it's absolutely that it's not a holistic planning. Particularly in the case of Gurgaon, if you see, just land allotments have been done sporadically without a comprehensive master plan. So suddenly you see these high-rise buildings next to plotted development or next to just shanties and slum developments, because everything's just come up in a sporadic manner. And as far as the infrastructure goes, for example, if we talk just about the rainwater or stormwater management, there should be a system that within these so-called islands of excellence or that have been made, why is water management not happening at first that micro level and then at a city macro level? There needs to be a master plan which integrates blue and green. That's what's happened world over. That's how cities work. When I say blue and green, I mean that the water network of a city, whether it's the water supply system or the stormwater runoff system, it has to be comprehensively integrated into the master plan. And greens, unless you have soft areas, soft surfaces in a city, you can't go about concretizing everything.
So is it too late?
Do that, where will the water go?
Is it too late? Is it too late according to you, Dikshu?
Well, Rajdeep, I'm a perennial optimist. I would never say it's too late. Yes, it's unfortunate because here we position Gurgaon, as you said, a smart city and, the golden goose for Haryana. Here we position India, aim to becoming a Viksit Bharat. This is not the way we can get there. So yet I would say it's not too late. Like I said, strategies can be brought into place. Let's have a more unified authority when it comes to infrastructure development of Gurugram. Let's have a blue and green map and planning integrated into the master plan of Gurugram. Let's have all these low-lying areas, nalas, the paleo channels of water that were there, which have been just recklessly covered. Let's do a scientific evidence, scientific research of seeing how the lay of the water is now when it rains. And all this can be repaired. All this can be improved. But there has to be, rather than political bickering, rather than transferring the blame from one authority to another, one party to another, there needs to be consensus. And one last point, Rajdeep, if we really want to fix it genuinely, let's get out of this culture of selecting people, technical experts or construction agencies on the lowest tender basis. I think this is the saddest thing that's happening in India at the moment. We think we are saving money, but the images on your screen tell us how much money and capital is getting, and human capital is getting wasted by these disasters year after year. So we need to get into a system like the world over. They select the best technical consultants. They don't go just by the lowest fee. They select the best contractors. They don't go just by the lowest fee. So let's fix it now.
Let me therefore ask Sudhir Krishna in conclusion. Mr. Krishna, do you believe that there is a willingness to fix it? Or is it too late? Because as you said, multiplicity of authorities, no one is willing to give up their limited powers, whether multiplicity of authorities in Mumbai, Delhi, any city of this country. Do you need, every city needs an empowered authority that specifically deals with these issues like drainage, for example? Unless you have an authority which is fully empowered and is therefore accountable, nothing is going to change.
Yes, we need an authority which is fully empowered, but it has to be a representative body. It has to be a representative body, because a singular authority, like if you make the development authority, Gurgaon Metropolitan Development Authority, as the authority, and we think that the chief executive officer can handle everything singularly very well, I don't think it is going to happen. It has to be a representative body. And that, see, our country is different. Other countries also have similar model. Regional authorities are there. But I mean, I would like to ignore that and create our own model. We should have, just like municipality, we should have a representative regional authority. So what is happening in our country? Delhi is also an example. So is Mumbai, MMRDA. So is the GMD. That, they are doing planning and development both. You see, the authority is doing planning and so the development overtakes, they become developer. Development authority becomes developer also. That is a very big challenge. And planning goes in background. Sometimes they violate. See, DDA developed on the Yamuna floodplain. They allowed and they developed also. Construction activities happened on the Yamuna floodplain by the DDA itself, because they became developer come planner. And therefore, money becomes so attractive. So these are the governance challenges are there. We have to have, the constitution a metropolitan planning.
You make very, very solid points, both of you. I hope someone out there once again is listening. You can't have smart cities, first of all, without smart planning. And smart planning involves a complete revamp of the way urban governance is done in this country. But does anyone really have the time and energy and effort to do that? These are the questions that those in power across this country must ask themselves. For now, for my guests for joining me on this vital issue of public concern, thank you very much. Let me turn from there to another of our ground reports, because a day after that Vadodara bridge collapse in Gujarat, once again there are many unanswered questions. Why were the authorities not aware of the condition of the bridge, especially since the state government had done an inspection of more than 400 bridges after the Morbi tragedy in Gujarat in 2022? More importantly, are there more bridges that are unsafe? Well, that's exactly what India Today has found out. More bridges that could collapse. Take a look at our ground report from Gujarat.
A day after the 40-year-old Gambhira bridge that linked Vadodara and Anand collapsed, killing 16 people, the question everyone is asking, how could this happen? Just 3 years ago, over 130 people had died in a bridge collapse in Morbi. Were lessons not learned? How could this happen when a panchayat member had red flagged this exact bridge back in 2022? Just about the Morbi tragedy. Why were warnings ignored? After the Morbi mishap, the state government informed the Gujarat High Court it had identified 461 bridges which would be inspected. Just 3 days ago, Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel held a high-level meeting to review the condition of the state's roads, bridges and highways. Despite assurances, tragedy struck on Wednesday. Are there more unsafe bridges in the state? What an India Today reality check found is nothing short of alarming. In Surat, the Tapi River Bridge could be an accident waiting to happen. What started as a 1-foot iron plate to bridge a gap is now 7 foot wide, say locals. Thousands of vehicles use the bridge daily. Despite multiple complaints and even a recent ministerial visit, there is no permanent fix.
और इसका मरम्मत की बहुत ही जरूरत है अभी ब्रिज की, और गंभीरा जैसी यहाँ पे घटना न बने।
इस ब्रिज की जो प्लेट थी पहले एकदम छोटी थी, अभी ये 7 फुट की हो गई। इस ब्रिज के 2 भाग ऐसे एक तरह से देखा जाए तो हो गए, क्योंकि यहाँ से जाते समय जो ये आवाज आता है और ये जो डर लगता है बहुत ही बहुत डरावना है।
इस पे कोई तंत्र ध्यान नहीं दिया। रोज रिपेयरिंग करने बैठते, रोज ट्रैफिक जाम हो रहा है। ये तंत्र के लिए शर्म की बात है। कितने लोग मर चुके हैं यहाँ।
In Amreli, the 70-year-old Shetruji Bridge, meant for light vehicles, is being pummeled by heavy traffic. The railings are broken. Makeshift rods barely hold things together. Locals fear the vibrations mean the bridge is in danger.
ब्रिज का नया बनना चाहिए, जिसके हिसाब से अगर कोई भी प्रकार की जानहानि न हो, अकस्मात न हो, इसके लिए ये रास्ता, ये ब्रिज सत्वर है, ये नया होना चाहिए.
From Morbi to Vadodara, it isn't just Gujarat's bridges that are crumbling. It's the public trust that is fast eroding. With Sanjay Singh Rathod and Farooq Bhai Dada Mia Sayyed Qadri, Bureau Report, India Today.
And right through next week, we will do a series of programs looking at the state of bridges across this country. Let's turn to our political top story. The Karnataka power tussle has reached the Delhi High Command of the Congress. Both Chief Minister Siddaramaiah and his Deputy DK Shivakumar have been parked in the national capital for the last 2 days amid speculation that the two leaders will meet some central leaders, and amidst reports that there could be either a cabinet reshuffle or certainly some effort to work out a solution to that leadership battle. But earlier today, in an exclusive interview to India Today, Mr. Siddaramaiah broke his silence, reiterated he will remain Chief Minister for the entire 5-year term. His message, kursi abhi khali nahi hai. Listen in to when I spoke to him earlier. All eyes in recent weeks in Karnataka in particular have been on Chief Minister Mr. Siddaramaiah. And the big question that's being asked, will Mr. Siddaramaiah complete a second 5-year term, become the first Karnataka Chief Minister to do so? Joining me now is the man himself. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Siddaramaiah. Big question mark. Is Mr. Siddaramaiah going to complete his full 5-year term, or are you going to sometime later this year give up chief ministership and maybe DK Shivakumar takes over? That is the buzz.
I already made it very clear that I am going to complete 5 years term. I will be the chief minister for 5 years. I made it very clear on 2nd of this month. I made this statement, and I made this very clear. And Mr. DK Shivakumar was also there, because on that day we were having a cabinet meeting. He was also there.
So in front of you, he said this, but since then, Rajdeep Surjewala, General Secretary of Congress, has been meeting MLAs, both in Bangalore and Delhi, and some of those MLAs have called for a change in leadership.
No, it is not correct. See, so far as leadership is concerned, Mr. Surjewala has not asked any question about the change of leadership.
But some MLAs have openly spoken about it.
That is there always. Some MLAs are there who are supporting DK Shivakumar. Of course, not much.
Sir, there was reports that there was a commitment 2.5 years Siddaramaiah ji, 2.5 years DK Shivakumar, 5 years to be divided. This was decided in 2023, apparently with the blessings of Sonia Gandhi and possibly Rahul Gandhi as well.
No, it is not correct. See what the High Command told us.
Yes.
What High Command told us, that whatever decision taken by the High Command, you have to follow. See, that is what they said.
Whatever the decision of the High Command. Mallikarjun Kharge also said that whatever decision the High Command takes will have to be accepted. So suppose High Command says that you have to step down.
Ours is a High Command party. Whatever High Command takes a decision, everyone has to follow the decision of the High Command. I will also follow. Mr. DK Shivakumar should also follow.
High Command has given you any indication that you have to step down or that there will be a change? Mallikarjun Kharge has said anything to you?
No, it is not correct.
Therefore, then what happens to all the MLAs who call for leadership? What will you all take disciplinary action against them? I mean, is the Congress party badly divided in Karnataka, and is that affecting governance? Siddaramaiah camp versus Shivakumar camp affecting governance in Karnataka?
See, Surjewala asked all the MLAs that how these guarantee schemes are implemented in your constituency. That is the main question asked by Mr. Surjewala to MLAs. And what are the developmental works that you have taken in the constituency? And what do you want from the government? That's what...
Are these guarantees bankrupting Karnataka's treasury? You are the finance minister as well. Is that the big challenge your government is facing because of all the guarantees and the cash that you've had to give out for those guarantees?
I mean, guarantees are concerned, guarantee programs are concerned. There is no dearth of money.
No dearth of money?
No dearth of money. I'm making it very clear. There is no dearth of money. We have sufficient money because for
then what about unpaid salaries then?
See, 1 or 2 cases will be there. It doesn't mean that the government has no money. See, if one person has not been given a salary, it doesn't mean that the government has no money.
The other issue I want to raise is the Enforcement Directorate in recent weeks has been raiding several Congress MLAs. Only today, one more MLA, Subba Reddy, has been raided. How do you see it? Is the Enforcement Directorate now focusing on Karnataka? You are an opposition-ruled state. Even you have been brought under their scanner.
CBI, Enforcement, ED, and all these things are targeting only Congress MLAs, Congress ministers. They are not targeting BJP or JDS MLAs. Only Congress MLAs.
Because you are in power. Because you are in...
It belongs to Congress party.
Yes, because they are saying that the Congress party has serious... the BJP says corruption is rampant in the Congress government. You called us 40% Sarkara. This is 60% Sarkara. How do you respond? They are saying that's why ED is targeting Congress.
Yeah. See, it's a political statement made by BJP people. Because we alleged that BJP government is a 40% commission. It is not that we are alleged or we have raised these slogans. The Contractors Association, they made this allegation that this BJP government is 40% corrupt government. That is the statement made by one, what is his name?
Contractors Association had made.
One Kempanna, who is the president of the Contractors Association.
Now BJP says those same contractors are making allegations against the Congress government.
Never made such an allegation.
So you're saying the entire ED is being used by the center to target your government?
Yes, definitely.
Including you yourself, because you have also been put under the scanner in that Mysore land case.
Me and others, particularly the Congress ministers and the Congress MLAs, recently ED raided Parmeshwara's college premises.
Yes.
They see, they are doing like this. They are targeting only Congress MLAs, Congress ministers. Why?
Would you concede, though, that all of this is denting the image of your government? You had the stampede issue during the RCB celebration. That dented your image. You have ordered an inquiry into it. All these ED inquiries. Is all of this damaging your image? Did the stampede issue, for example, damage your image as a government?
No, it is not correct. See, it is RCB and which one?
Karnataka State Cricket Association.
Karnataka Cricket Association. They requested me to hold a function near the Vidhan Saudha. So I permitted.
Do you regret that? Was it a mistake in hindsight?
Definitely. See, 11 people have died. But Congress government, there is no Congress government's mistake is there. There is no failure of the government. But still it is happening.
You made a scapegoat of the police officer, sir.
No, it is not correct. Because, see, they should have not properly arranged the police bandobast. That is why the commissioner say, I went to the function which was held near Vidhan Saudha by 4:15. Because the stampede was taken place before 4:15. The police people did not inform me at all. I didn't know.
But what does that say, sir, about governance if the Chief Minister is not informed by the police of a stampede taking place?
That is why he was kept under suspension.
You're turning 77. You are 77. Are you thinking of retirement at all, or is a politician never tired or retired? Is Mr. Siddaramaiah going to lead the Congress in the 2028 election?
Normally, politicians are not retiring. See,
will you lead your party in the 2028 elections? Are you ready for that?
Definitely I will lead.
You don't think that if there is a change in government, anti-incumbency will be less, and therefore you need to give way to a newer, younger order? Shivakumar ji is about 15 years younger than you.
No, see, listen. In Karnataka, the people of Karnataka are not against this government.
There's no anti-incumbency.
No anti-incumbency. They are not against this government, and in 2028 also, you will come back.
There is a belief that the caste census, as the way you wanted it, was not moved. In fact, you've had to now reorder the caste census under pressure from the High Command. Fresh caste census. Will that caste census come out in the next 3 months as you are promising, or will it get further delayed?
No, in 3-4 months it will come.
And you will then, you will have reservations on the basis of that caste census?
Kantaraj Commission conducted survey in the year 2015 and 16.
Yes.
Ministers also of the cabinet also of the opinion that new survey is to be conducted. New enumeration is to be conducted.
You're seen by many as one of the last mass leaders. You have a mass connect definitely in Karnataka. Do you believe though that that connect will, if I come 1 year from now, will I still see you in this chair? Or will I see you coming to Delhi, as some are saying, as the head of some OBC committee of the Congress? Will you move to Delhi? Is there a possibility of you moving to Delhi?
I am not head of the OBC.
No, there is a move to, there is some talk that you could be brought to Delhi as the, instead of being in Karnataka.
Totally it is not correct. See,
you will remain in Karnataka, same chair.
Yes, I will remain in Karnataka in the same chair. And I am one of the members of the Backward Class Backward Class Council.
If Mr. Shivakumar was here watching this, what will you tell DK Shivakumar? What will you tell him?
See, I don't want to tell him because, see, he's also one of the aspirants. Nothing
He
wrong.
says he's Congress president. He has worked very hard for the party in Karnataka. He also deserves a chance, his supporters are saying.
Yes, executed his duty. Anybody would have been in his place, would have worked like that only.
So what would you tell DK Shivakumar then?
No,
To wait? Are you telling him to please wait? Kursi abhi khali nahi hai. Chair is not empty.
He himself said this. Kursi abhi khali nahi hai.
Okay. Mr. Siddaramaiah, for joining me and speaking so plainly, thank you so much.
Kissa Kursi Ka is what they call it, or Karnataka Nataka and their Kissa Kursi Ka. Let's turn to our good news today story. A 5-month-old dog's timely bark helped over 60 people escape just before flood waters hit a village in Mandi in Himachal Pradesh. Rocky is our hero. That's right, Rocky, whose alertness saved lives. Our good news story is about Rocky. Take a look.
Meet Rocky, the dog everyone is talking about in Siati village in Himachal Pradesh. His loud barks alerted his master, Lalit Kumar, when flash floods hit the village on the night of June 30th.
सर ये रात को 12:30 बजे के बीच जब नींद खुली थी बहुत जोर से आवाजें निकाल रहा था। सोए हुए थे सर, उठा मैं कह रॉकी बाहर जोर से आवाज निकाल रहा है। फिर मैं बाहर निकला, जब बाहर देखा तो बहुत बारिश हो रही थी। घर का एरिया था, उसमें एक लंबी लाइन पूरी खिंच चुकी थी।
Lalit first woke up his family members and then the neighbors.
मेरे घर से घर के नीचे भी घर है। मैंने उनको कांटेक्ट कर दिया कि मेरा घर जो है ढह चुका है, आप लोग यहाँ से सेफली जल्दी से निकल जाओ।
सर वो एक घर था पहला ऊपर, फिर वो गिरा, वो बच्चे मुश्किल से, फिर उन्होंने नीचे कॉल कर दी सबको कि भाई भागो, अब हमारा घर तो गया।
उसी घर में जिसमें वो कुत्ता था वो?
हाँ जी, उन्होंने बोला कि अब भागो, हमारा घर तो गया। ऊपर सारा मलबा नीचे की ओर ही आ रहा था।
Rocky's timely warning saved 63 lives. Not a single person died that night, but the dog itself got caught in the landslide.
जब ये हादसे में चला गया था सर, तो इसने 2-3 दिन तो खाना खाया नहीं था, यानी कि हमें भी नहीं पहचान रहा था। जो इसने देखा होगा रात का मंजर, हम तो यहाँ से निकल चुके थे।
Lalit says Rocky was gifted to him by his brother 3 months ago. Since the landslide, all the villagers are staying at a temple nearby, and Rocky is a hero to all of them. Bureau Report, India Today.
Rocky Mera Naam. Remember that old film? Of course, there was the boxing film Rocky as well. But this is about Rocky the dog. Good luck to him. And thank God for such dogs. Okay, just about enough time to tell you that we are going to have a new show coming up on this channel. My colleague Preeti Chaudhary is going to bring out a new weekly podcast called Unpolitics. That's right, Unpolitics. Casual, unscripted conversation where guests step out of their formal roles and speak candidly about life beyond their well-defined roles in public life. So don't forget to tune in and watch the podcast of Unpolitics. That's it on the show tonight. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubhratri. Jai Hind, Namaskar.
We begin Unpolitics, where we put the un in politics. Our first guest, Mr. Nitin Gadkari. कौन बनेगा बीजेपी का अध्यक्ष?
इम्पोर्टेंट सवाल आपका है, पर गलत व्यक्ति का है। पॉलिटिक्स इज ए इंस्ट्रूमेंट ऑफ सोशियो इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म। दिल्ली को ट्रैफिक जाम से मुक्ति मिले। धूम धड़ाक करने वाला स्टूडेंट लीडर था, एग्रेसिव।
100 किलोमीटर्स पर डे अनअचीवेबल टारगेट है?
मेरे डिक्शनरी में इम्पॉसिबल शब्द नहीं है।
क्या आपने 72 लीटर अपना यूरिन कलेक्ट किया और अपने उसको अपने गार्डन
दिया? मैंने 72 लाख किलोमीटर का टोटल रोड्स है, उसमें मैं केवल 1,50,000 किलोमीटर।
पर गाली सबकी खाते हैं।
पिछले सालों में लोगों ने मुझे ट्रोल किया बहुत।
मैं निकला गड्डी लेकर, सामने टोल आया।